You're watching a Mags on Media special episode hosted from the Vega School's Johannesburg campus. More award-winning student work now. Jason Walden and Malija Mohande collaborated on a brief for the Pearson Educational Group to address the 15% teacher pay gap in the United States. In a risque execution, Jason and Malija used conceptual news footage from the year 2027 to communicate what would happen if there are no teachers. It's boldly called the dumbest project. So, Jason Walden, you're a Vega student, you are 22 years old, and you are the recipient of a gold loerie, which for most people in the advertising industry is only something they get much later in their career. So you are a real talent, and thank you for talking to us. You conceptualized something called the dumbest project. What was the brief?
So we were given a brief by Pearson, which is like an all-encompassing learning brand. So if a settlement doesn't have enough teachers, they'll send teachers there. If there's not enough advancement in technology, they'll assist in the advancements of technology. But they basically stated and said that within the next 20 years, there's going to be a huge influx of new learners going into formal education. And that's going to cause a huge problem because the education system isn't going to be able to handle that.
So what did they want you to unlock?
They told us that's going to cause a number of problems. It's up to you to identify a problem that's going to cause and solve it. It was
so
a
dealing
really
with
broad...
capacity, in other words.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes.
So what was your approach?
We just boiled it down to what happens if we have no teachers, and you're going to get dumb people going into high positions. And that's why we called it the dumbest project.
It was a risque approach, though. It was edging on courting controversy. Was that part of the thinking?
We wanted to be as edgy and disruptive as we possibly could with this. I mean, that's the most fun stuff to work on anyways. We love to challenge the norms and go against the grain in terms of these types of briefs. Because as a student, it's the most pure briefs you can get because you don't have the budget of the client, and you don't have a million other people crashing down saying, no, it has to be like this, like this. So we love the more risky approaches that's our way to go.
How difficult was it to create or to run the line between the concept and then the final execution? That bit in the middle where you're actually working on it, was that difficult?
No, it actually wasn't, because we already used existing platforms like newspapers and Facebook and clickbait media, and we just thought, how do we make the concept relevant to this? So we just wrote stories on what would happen if there was no teachers, like if a muscle supplement company miscalculated the amount of estrogen in their product and all bodybuilders started sprouting boobs. And it was just so much fun to just write the content for it, and it was just dragged across way easier than I actually thought it would.
I wonder if the idea isn't slightly ahead of its time, given this Orwellian nature of fake news that we're dealing in anyway. I mean, you've almost kind of hit the target about what could potentially happen anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, I presume that was the intention.
Yes. Yeah. Show what could happen if this, because I mean, the whole project was directed towards sign the petition to eradicate this 15% teacher pay gap, and so we just wanted to shock people, shock tactics with just, if this isn't fixed, this could happen.
Do you think ultimately the project is usable, though? It's a very unfair question, because your answer should be yes.
Yeah,
but there is a reality between what you do as a student, where you're allowed to push the envelope a little bit, and perhaps the risk quotient when it comes to actual commercial execution. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do. Yeah. I think, it would all come down to Pearson if they basically had the balls to do something like that. Since it's such a risky approach, and there was stuff like swearing and stuff, and that's coming from an education brand is sort of something that wouldn't normally be done. But I think that the storytelling aspects of what we went with could potentially have the power to change people's minds. And no one's just going to go and willingly sign a petition to eradicate. It's such a boring, it's an important problem, but
it's not the most exciting thing.
It's not the most exciting thing, So to make it exciting, I think that it could influence some people to definitely sign the petition. And even if it's not the 300,000 signatures you need to take it to government, every little bit counts with this type of thing. So I think it could have the power to influence something if it was introduced in the right way.
Jason Walden, I wish you well in your career. I'm sure it's going to be stellar.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. And that's it from us and this special episode of Mags on Media, hosted from the Vega Schools campus in Johannesburg. You can find more content on the show on our social media pages. Until next time, goodbye to you and thank you for watching.